So, welcome everybody. Tonight's session is a session going to be based on almost like an indicator session where we in the previous session went to that little indicator and started showing you Bollinger Bands, how high, how low the market could go. But in this case, it's going to be different. And I'm going to close that, so we have a clear screen. Going to be a little bit different in the sense that some of these lines are what traders need to be using besides all the indicators. So before we get too excited about the settings and the rules of trading, we need to understand what are support and resistance lines. So I'm going to make this screen full screen so that you can see mm, nothing else except for my screen and these candlesticks going up and down. So I've just put these little tools on my screen. I use them all the time. And for that one, it's the up arrow. You can see the market went up and it stopped. It stopped at 18 Rand 69. And then what happened? It went down all the way to 17 Rand 52. Both of these highs and lows are important. There was a sudden high that happened. I cannot know for sure what happened there, but I would say that the Forex market would not have indicated that. This is the altcoin trader market, which is a little bit more volatile. There's less money in the market, and sometimes when big money comes, it creates a huge flood of price changes. But be it as it may, we want to know, where did the price change direction? And that is where, when we're talking about this is the low for over here. That's the high over there. There's another high there. There's another low there. Another low there. High and low. Those are pretty obvious signs, but when we are talking about the market and how it's moving, let's just quickly go to a different time frame. Let's use the 1 day time frame. Then what we see is an interesting picture, because we can now see that there has been a kind of upward movement towards the rand. In other words, the rand has decreased in value because you needed to use more rands to buy dollars. So if we had to say, okay, where was the highs? So over there, there's a high, there's a high, there's a high, there's a high, 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 high. So the one most common place for highs is this place over here. Yes, there were more highs over there, over there. But our real picture is focused on the first one. This is what traders call resistance. This is where the traders have placed their sell orders, because over there it went to that point and it fell. So they believe that when it goes to that point again, it will fall. And when it goes to that point again, it will fall. When it goes to that point again, and now you're saying, but what it's went higher. Yes, it did go higher, but then it fell. It went to that point and it fell. It went to this point and it fell. You can't say the same for the lows. The low over there, then there was a low, but it was higher. Okay, there it went very low. Don't know what happened there. And generally speaking, it went, every low was higher than the previous low. So we find that our resistance, that this is our resistance. In other words, when you're doing